Every time we ask AI a question, something invisible happens. Somewhere far away, electricity enters a machine. A chip heats up. A data center wakes up. A meter starts spinning. But the unit is no longer kilowatt-hours. It is tokens. And this raises one of the most important questions of the AI age. Is Nvidia becoming the electricity company of artificial intelligence? Not electricity in the literal sense. Nvidia does not own every power plant. It does not sell electricity to your apartment. But in the AI economy, compute is becoming a new form of energy. And Nvidia is increasingly sitting at the center of how that energy is produced, distributed, and monetized. This is why Nvidia is no longer just a chip story. It is becoming an infrastructure story. For most of modern history, every economic era has had a foundational input. Coal powered the Industrial Revolution. Oil powered the 20th century. Electricity powered modern life. Cloud computing powered the software age. In the AI age, the foundational input may be compute. Banks need compute. Drug companies need compute. Factories need compute. Media companies need compute. Governments need compute. Small businesses may eventually use AI agents for accounting, marketing, scheduling, customer service, and research. If AI becomes embedded into every workflow, then companies may not ask, "Do we use AI?" They may ask, "How much intelligence do we consume? And how efficiently can we turn that intelligence into profit?" The common mistake is to think Nvidia only sells GPU. A GPU is the visible object. But Nvidia's deeper business is the system around the GPU. Chips, networking, software, developer tools, AI libraries, data center architecture, cloud partnerships, inference optimization. This is why Nvidia has been so difficult to attack. A single chip can be copied. A platform is harder. Once developers build on it, once cloud companies optimize for it, once enterprises design workflows around it, switching becomes expensive. That is when a product starts to behave like infrastructure. Jensen Huang often describes this new world as the age of AI factories, and the phrase matters. A traditional factory takes raw materials and turns them into products. An AI factory takes data, electricity, and compute, and turns them into intelligence. That intelligence may become text, code, images, decisions, recommendations, simulations, robot actions, customer service, scientific discovery. In the old economy, factories produced goods. In the AI economy, factories may produce intelligence, and Nvidia is trying to provide the core machinery for these factories. This is the real bull case. Not simply that companies will buy more chips, but that the world may consume more and more machine intelligence. This is where the electricity analogy becomes powerful. Electricity is valuable because it is used constantly. You do not ask whether a modern company believes in electricity. It simply uses it. AI may eventually become the same, invisible, continuous, embedded into everything. And if intelligence becomes something companies consume every day, then the companies that control the infrastructure of intelligence become extremely important. The question becomes, who owns the grid? Who provides the machinery? Who collects the toll every time intelligence is produced? This is why Nvidia's newer AI cloud partnerships are worth watching. Traditionally, a chip company sells hardware once, but Nvidia is now experimenting with a model where AI clouds can deploy Nvidia infrastructure through revenue sharing and credit support. In simple language, Nvidia can earn from selling the infrastructure, and potentially earn again as that infrastructure generates cloud revenue. That is an important shift, because the most valuable infrastructure companies are not only paid when something is built, they are paid when something is used. If Nvidia can attach itself not only to AI build-out, but also to AI consumption, then the business begins to look less like a traditional hardware cycle and more like a toll road on the intelligence economy. The numbers already show how much Nvidia has changed. In its first quarter of fiscal 2027, Nvidia reported $81.6 billion in revenue. $75.2 billion came from data center. That means the center of gravity has moved. Nvidia is no longer mainly the company that made gaming graphics cards. It has become one of the most important infrastructure companies of the AI age. This is not a small transition. This is a company being reclassified by the market in real time. The hard part is figuring out what category it now belongs to. Is it a semiconductor company? A platform company? An infrastructure company? A utility-like company? Or something new? But we have to be careful. A beautiful analogy can become dangerous when it hides the differences. Nvidia is not a normal electricity company. Electricity is standardized, electricity utilities are often regulated, demand is stable, the technology changes slowly. Nvidia is different. Its products change quickly, its margins are high, its customers are concentrated, its technology must keep improving, and its largest customers are also trying to reduce dependence on it. Google has TPU, Amazon has Trainium, Microsoft, Meta, AMD, Broadcom, and others all want more control over AI infrastructure economics. The stronger Nvidia becomes, the more everyone else is incentivized to build around it. That is the tension. Nvidia may be at the center of the grid, but everyone else wants to avoid paying too much rent to the grid owner. This is the most important investment question. Not whether Nvidia can sell chips today, it can. The real question is whether the buyers of those chips can generate enough economic value from AI. Can cloud providers earn attractive returns on AI workloads? Can enterprises move from experiments to production? Can AI agents reduce costs or create revenue? Can inference demand grow because users are willing to pay, not just because investors are subsidizing usage? This is the difference between an industrial revolution and a bubble. In a real industrial revolution, infrastructure turns into productivity. Railroads lowered transportation costs. Electricity increased factory output. The internet reduced distribution costs. Cloud computing made software scalable. AI has to do the same. It has to move from impressive demonstrations to measurable economic value. That is the line to watch. Training gets the attention. Training is dramatic. It creates frontier models. It requires massive clusters. But inference is where AI becomes daily life. Every question, every customer service reply, every AI agent action, every code suggestion, every generated image or video, every robot movement, every scientific simulation. Inference is repeated consumption of intelligence, and repeated consumption is where utility-like economics can emerge. Electricity became powerful because people used it constantly. AI compute becomes utility-like only if intelligence is used constantly. This is why cost per token matters so much. If intelligence becomes cheaper, demand may expand. And if demand expands, the intelligence grid becomes more valuable. So I do not think the right question is only, is Nvidia overvalued? The better question is, what kind of company is Nvidia becoming? If you treat it only as a chip company, you may miss the platform. If you treat it only as a utility, you may ignore the cycle. If you treat it only as a monopoly, you may ignore the competition. If you treat it only as a bubble, you may miss the real demand. Nvidia is a hardware company, a software company, a platform company, an infrastructure company, a geopolitical company, and increasingly, a company attached to the production of machine intelligence itself. That is why this story is so difficult to value, because the market is not just pricing current earnings, it is trying to price a possible new layer of the economy. Nvidia may be becoming the electricity company of the AI age, but not in the simple sense. It is not just selling power. It is selling the machinery that turns power into intelligence. And if intelligence becomes a daily input for every company, every industry, and every person, then Nvidia may sit close to one of the most valuable toll roads in the world. But that future is not guaranteed. AI infrastructure must become real productivity. Compute must become revenue. Tokens must become value. Because electricity did not change the world simply because power plants existed. Electricity changed the world because every factory, every home, every street, and every machine found a way to use it. AI will be the same. The question is not whether we can build intelligence. The question is whether the world can absorb it. And if the answer is yes, Nvidia may not just be selling chips. It may be helping build the power system of the AI age. For education and reflection only, not financial advice,